Hello, people. How are you doing? There's a plethora of things that I'd like to discuss. But due to some of the things that I want to discuss, I don't know if I'll be able to get through them. One of the things being, I've had a few videos that just couldn't upload. YouTube algorithms, general life things that happen, astrology as usual. Um, so many different things. And here I am, despite all of that, to see. Is despite even a word? Despite is a word as well as to spite something, right? So sorry about the phone because it's kind of sitting here at a funny angle here. Let me see if I can adjust this slightly. How about that? Just gotta sit there right. Because I have my phone plugged in because my phone is now doesn't charge very well. If I use a long cord, it doesn't charge as well as if I use a short cord. All of that shit that goes into battery powers and technology and things. So if you're new here, which is probably not going to happen due to, I don't know, maybe for the last 4 months, for whatever reason, I'm capped at 6.5 thousand subs. Whatever that means, I don't know. I don't know how many of those are real, how many fake. I don't know how that works. I don't work for the company. YouTube, Google, whatever. But, so anyways, let me see if I can dabble into a few of these things. Maybe we'll get into magic too. Interpersonal and relationships you have with people and corporations and society at large. Maybe we'll get into. See, I want to go through all of this. There's a bunch that I want to. But I made a video the other day that I spoke, and I released the video, and the audio somehow didn't work. Then 2 videos before that, I made a video, it couldn't upload. I made a video a day before that, and that got jammed up too. So, hey, I don't know. It could be just that my phone is, I don't know. Could be a lot of reasons. Nonetheless, let's see if we can find a good footing here. Only 3 minutes in, and I've only wasted 3 minutes of your time talking about nothing other than an intro. Maybe there's like, because what I'll do is I like to interact in society, and the things that I'll speak about and interact with people with, it gives me something here. And if I watch a video, it gives me something to respond to, and that's one way of doing it. Or sometimes I'll meditate and just sit and contemplate. They're all good ways of finding footings or jump off points or whatever that you wanna get into. And I guess the video that I watched last is what I'm getting at here. Maybe not the last video I watched, but one of the ones that stuck with me a little bit. And it was a small channel, and the title was pretty much surmised. Surmised the right word, or is it summarized? Either way, I think it did both. The idea that people that don't release tension through language or other things end up like imploding or something like that. I've talked about this concept before. It's like the inability or lack thereof communication or the capacity to do such things. And some people, and I'm doing my best here because that isn't like how I am. I mean, I know that would happen to most people and even probably myself. But what I'm saying is, I don't have a lack of capacity to communicate. It's just that there's been so many things that I've noticed that I'm trying to explain how that functions. Because that's something I like to do when people don't understand something, when they don't get it. I'm happy to go check it out and see, like, if somebody has a problem with their car or their house or whatever, like, let me look into that and see what goes on here. Okay, let me show you how that functions so we can better analyze and I guess you'd call it, like, I'm trying to use words that are popular terminology, as far as, like, I think that's more people into computers or, you know, see, corporate words. Maybe we should read some books and use more hot button words. You'd call it hot button words. You know what I mean, like that. It's something, it's something that I have always tried not to do because I dislike the idea, much like George Carlin did, of using weak language or just saying the same thing that's been said for 30 years, but just using different words to reiterate the same. I mean, I like the idea of reiterating points using different vantage points or viewpoints or considerations from different points, right? But I don't like the idea, as I was saying, to say the same thing just by altering one word. That if I say, that's bigger, okay, and if I say, that's more elaborate, okay, they're slightly different, so I'll accept that. But if I say something that's bigger, or that's more massive, okay, we can kind of now we're getting closer to the point of going, are we just using syntax and semantics to fuck with things? And which I think is what, if you look into coding language and shit, it's like syntax is you're getting the same result here. It's like, if I say there's more of something, if I say, okay, more, okay, I get the word. Who did the really great bit? And I know that the words 15 or less and 15 or fewer is different things. Like if you go through a express checkout line in a grocery store, it says 15 or less items. I know that 15 or fewer is the correct language, but that's really split in fucking pubic hairs. That's ridiculous. We all know what we mean by that. 15 or less or 15 or fewer items here. But if you really, let's get into language. It's become apparent that, as many times before, the English language, as universal as it is, causes just as much communication error in dialogue and confusion. I mean, it really does. Like, think about languages that use. I'd like to use the example of say I'm gonna use three languages here. Let's use what the Egyptians used, and I guess I assume they still do. We use like a pictograph. Is that what you would call it? Like a picture that represents something, or like a Chinese symbol. And these symbols represent something. It's like a whole system within one image. Where if I use the English language, well, we do certainly know that every single letter is truly a pictogram, or in and of itself a symbol, much as, say, the Chinese will write something, but there's lots, like, well, there's so many different letters, but they're actually, in and of themselves, they express a bigger thing. So like a tree expresses itself fully. There's nothing you really need to say. You could go out into the forest and go, that's a tree, that's a tree, that's a tree. But I would say, are you looking at the leaves? Do you see how tall it is? Do you see the branches and how they're going this way? Do you see? Those are all different medicines. I think what I'm trying to get at here, and I realize and this is why I'm happy that there's really nobody new here, but for the people that are very in the knowing of how I like to paint pictures with language, and I know I might not be doing the greatest job today because there's such an overabundance of what I'm trying to say here, but it's very simple. Is that we found that within the English language that there are so many different meanings for the same word. There are so many different dictionaries that will give you different meanings for the same word, even opposite meanings. And it's like, how can that possibly be? Who am I talking to here? Maybe this will take it into a story I want to tell you, because it's been lingering, and I didn't want to get too forthright with this, because for some people it's it's so silly to me. I'm going to give you the lead up to the story. Maybe this is what I'll do. Maybe I figured it out. Maybe it only took me 12 minutes of just talking about how silly this is. Should I do this? If you knew the people that I fuck with, like I fucks with, you know what I mean? Like, it's pretty much everybody. Always. Like, there's nobody that's not on my team. There's nobody on my level. You know, everybody's of the same being as me. You know, just different stages of blah, 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 different backgrounds, different whatever, I don't know. So you always have to use your ability to communicate in different ways with these people. I've told many stories over the course of the years about interacting with types of people, and I use those air quotes because I think that's funny. Because you do, like, some people, they box themselves into something, and they find that they go out of their way to find offense with something where there isn't any offense to be. It wasn't directed at them. And I've told stories about this kind of thing before. And I think the last story that I gave everyone, and we'll see if I can't give you part of the story and see if you can figure out the rest on your own, because this will be a fun little game. And is he going to say what I think he's going to say? It'll be a fun little game. See, it'll be a mathematics game. This is a mathematics game. I'm doing this on the fly. This is just how it works. So the story I told maybe was it a year ago? I was sitting in this restaurant. This girl sits down next to me. She goes, "There's a seat taken." Sits down next to me. I'm talking to the bartender, who is I don't know his descent, but he speaks Spanish. I think he's Mexican. Some Latin, whatever. I'm at a Mexican restaurant. And this is of no part to the story, really, other than just to give you a little, paint a picture. So I'm sitting there talking to him, and I know him not very well, but well enough that I've had multiple conversations with him, deep enough where, like, every time it's like, "What up? Nice to see you," blah, blah, blah. And we have chats if it's not busy. And we were talking about how, where has he lived in the United States? Has he been out of the country? What are his favorite cities? Which ones are not his favorite cities? I'm talking to him. It's me and him. And I said New York City is as much of a cancer on the earth and society as other major cities. And then the girl that was sitting down next to me got really upset with me. Really upset with me. I'm talking to him, not to her. To the point where she was like, "You've insulted me. How dare you speak about New York City like that?" Now, if you can find the video that I did that whole story on, it's pretty fucking funny. I thought it was hilarious. She didn't find it too funny. I'm not sure how he felt about the whole thing. But nonetheless, okay, it's humor, it's just talking. And I had something similar happen to me many, many times in different ways. But a few days ago, something even more bizarre. Some of the most bizarrest thing, one of the most strange and, can I use the word pentultimate here? it was an apex of hilarity that I couldn't even comprehend. Where I was talking to a friend of mine that I'd come to the place with on the same side of the bar. I'm pretty white, but not really, if you know where I'm from. And he's native, blacker than most, if you'd like to use that word, black. He's not black, but he's dark. He's melanated, very. And we're having a conversation about something. And where he asked me a question, he says something, and so I respond in turn to his question. I'm sitting there talking to him. Now, who decides to get upset with what's being said but some white girl that's there with her boyfriend who is not white? It's already getting confusing. I haven't even told you, and you can read right into everything that's going on here and imagine what my friend was talking about and what I said and what she got upset with and what this turns into. It was one of the most, and I can't wait to tell this story in it, because I'm just doing this at the end here just to see if anybody can, I mean, and you don't got to comment down below, just go wink, wink, nod, nod. I fucking understand completely what you're saying, because it's just that type of shit is what I'm getting at. It's just like that type of like thought police, the language police. Like I had, you know, not speaking to anybody. I'm not speaking to them. Not insulting anyone. There was no. I wasn't even making. There was no jokes to be had. There was no like, hey, there's two guys down in the bar. Blah, blah. There was none of that. It was just me and him having a conversation about something that you can already read into. And then, so another joke gets even funnier because all of a sudden I gotta talk to her about this, that me and him are, what, who, where does this, how does this happen? And that kind of thing is what we deal with in society on a regular basis. The television does it to you. You could read in this here, I'll give you the joke. I mean, it's that Louis C.K. joke. Anybody know the joke I'm talking about? Go look it up. You'll find out. If you can't figure it out from here, then you don't know. Then you don't know. It's about news media and what they're allowed to say and what they can't say. It's about George Carlin and the seven words you can't say on network television, even though he didn't give you all the words, he just gave you the seven major ones. And even that was back in the 80s. So, anyways, this is just, it's just tiring to deal with people that they have this ability to be offended by things that aren't meant for them to be offended by. If someone directly at you offends your being and everything about, then deal with it right there, and there it is. Your offense is okay. This is the thing where my offense starts, you're right, stop. That's been it for a very long time. And it's just noticing it in so many different venues and places and dialogues and the way people go about living their life. I find that so humorous to me. While it's occurring, I'm appalled that other people are offended. If I'm having an argument with somebody over something, then I think we both should happily be offended at each other's disposition or whatever. That's part of life, you know. We go through this shit. We have arguments with people. Okay. But when people find a way to get in there and just think that they have some sort of responsibility to, I don't, that's the thing, is that, but they've been programmed to do it. Like, they gotta just, we can't have that. I was watching a video. His name is he's an acrobat in New York City, and I remember it was this. This is just a few days ago. Tylon, is his name Tylon? I don't know if I don't know if that's his name, or I don't remember how he spells it on the Instagram. And it's this video of him. He was doing his act. It's an amazing artist, amazing. He jumps over people, puts his body in different positions, humorous, blah blah blah. Does street performance, and somebody come up and basically kind of stopped him from doing that. Like something she didn't like. I couldn't tell the whole thing because you only got a snippet of the video because apparently, like she was outraged that he was doing his act, and there was this dialogue between them, and he was just like, "How dare you? All of these people are here, like hundreds of people paid to watch him do his act." And she was like, just doing everything she can to make sure he can't do his act. And as he's speaking, everyone's cheering for what he's saying. And she's just standing there, being insulted over nothing to do with her. Why is she there? Why isn't she over there doing what she's doing and enjoying herself, doing whatever she needs to do to be happy? And instead of getting in the way of 100 people watching someone do something that is entertaining and enjoyable to them. He's not in anyone's way. They're not in anyone's way. Everyone's they put the dollar in they put the quarter in the machine to get on the merry-go-round, up and down and around. Here we go. Have this fun time, and then people just find a way to you know. It's amazing to me. It is. Hey, don't get me wrong. Like, you know, everyone's been on all sides of this here, but it's the, you know, the Karen syndrome, I guess you might call it. The you know, you watch those really great videos of that the stupid old man, the stupid dumb blah blah blah. We just go on all this shit, whatever, man, woman, white, black, whatever. It doesn't matter. Everybody has this thing, but it's always this like entitled, like the earth is not common heritage. It's just theirs. That no one else can have a separate opinion, a separate dance move, a different perspective, a different way of being. It amuses. See, some people whenever I do these things, they think that like I'm really like. No, of course, you know, it kind of stirs up a little whatever, but it doesn't bother me for like forever. It's just like for a minute. I'm just like, really, is this how it is? And I talk to people like, it's like when you have children, and you're like, what the fuck? Why? How? Or something, you get in an argument with your friends. It's just like, yeah, we good. Just come on, like let's continue let's keep it moving. KIM, keep it moving forward. You know, let's continue this on. And some people just go, nah, it ain't like that. No. And that hold grudges. I just have never been one to hold grudges. Even people. Who has it said that in your life, there are people that you should apologize to that will never receive that apology, and there are people that should apologize to you that you will never receive that apology from. And then that becomes the equation of saying, well, fuck it, keep it moving. Who cares? Like, all right, pay it forward. Hey, I didn't apologize to this person. I was an asshole. Let me help this person out. This person was a dick to me, but you know, let me in turn, let me flip that around, and be nice to this person. It can work in a lot of different ways. But the people that just hold on to that shit, like grudgy. Well, hope you all enjoyed this. Just something to ponder over, stew into your mix of alchemical creation. Think what you like about. If it helps the world, great. You know, plant a tree, cook some food, play some music, dance, meditate, take a nap, talk some shit. Whatever you got to do. I mean, you know what I mean? It's just like, just try to do less harm and more whatever you think is good. Because certainly sometimes little bits and pieces of talking shit is actually good. You know what I mean? But most of the time, you know, you got too many people out there. Just don't go too far with the be nice to everyone. You know, if we had, you know, eye for an eye kind of culture, we'd end up all blind, right? And if you're going to get smacked in the face and turn the other cheek, you'll end up blind and everybody else can see. Now there's the little, that thing. So As always, stay funky, stay fresh, be weird, be yourself, try to be unique. If you got to copy something, copy it perfectly, and become the things that you want to be, that you desire, that you, whatever it is, who knows. But again, always stay funky. Hope you enjoyed. Cheers.